Hello and welcome back to DONA'S Tarot with me, Donna, your intuitive tarot reader and guide. Today, we are diving into your full April 2026 prediction for love, career, money, and health for all the zodiac signs. April does not feel like a very passive month. Rather, it kind of feels like a movement after hesitation. It feels like a decision that have been sitting in the background are finally coming to the forefront. For some of you, this month brings clarity. For others, it brings pressure to act. And for many of you, it is bringing a month with a mix of both. We are going sign by sign for each zodiac sign. I'll walk you through the overall theme of the April using the tarot cards. Then we will go deeper into love, career, and money, and finally your health. But before we begin, just a quick reminder that this is a general collective reading, so not every message will resonate with everyone. Take what feels aligned for you and leave the rest. If something does not connect, it simply means that part may be meant for someone else. I would rather request you to listen to your sun, moon, and rising signs for the full picture of how the month is going to be for you. So, without further ado, let's begin with our first zodiac, which is Aries. Hello, Aries. Let's see what we have in store for you for the month of April 2026. We are going to start with the tarot cards. So, let's see what we have for you. Okay. We have Six of Swords, King of Pentacles, and Page of Wands. Now, Aries, April is not chaotic for you, but rather it is going to be transitional. Like, but in a way that actually aligns very strongly with what's happening astrologically right now. Like at the beginning of the month, you are still sitting in that Pisces heavy energy where multiple planets are creating emotional pressure and confusion. You may feel like things are unclear, like you are mentally tired, or you have been carrying something heavier than usual. That's exactly where the six of swords energy fits in. This is not an escape energy, rather, this is a conscious movement. You're choosing to leave something behind because it no longer feels peaceful for you. This could be a mindset, a draining conversation, a job environment, or even a version of yourself that you have kept tolerating, you have that have kept you tolerate a lot of things that you shouldn't have. And the interesting thing is this decision doesn't come with any drama, it comes with quite clarity. You just decide that you are done, and then you move forward. Because as you can see, then in the mid April, when the mid April hits for you, and the sun moves into Aries, then everything shifts for you. You feel it, your energy changes. You start thinking about stability, money, and long term security, and that's where the King of Pentacles fits in for you again. Now, you move from emotional survival mode into practical thinking, and you start asking yourself better questions, not like what feels good right now, but rather what actually is going to work for you in the long term. Now, this is where some of you step into a more stable job, a better financial mindset, or even start taking yourself more seriously in terms of discipline. And I feel like by the end of April, when Mercury shifts and clarity returns, you get to this Page of Wands energy where this is like your spark coming back to you. But this time the spark is not that recklessness of yours, rather it is a curious, intentional, and a little bit more slightly mature form of spark, where you feel excited again but not in a desperate energy. Now, this month of April is not about rushing forward for you, but rather it's about leaving the chaos behind and choosing something better for yourself. Now, let's see as we move towards what we see in love. Okay, we have bouquet. Now, in love, this kind of aligns perfectly with Venus moving into Taurus mid April, because this kind of brings stability and genuine affection into relationships. Bouquet often shows attraction, admiration, and even emotional warmth. If you are currently single, Aries, then this is someone who is going to notice you. Like if you're single, you will find yourself getting someone's attention, or someone will start noticing you and will make it more prominent, will make it more known to you. It is not going to be confusing, but rather in a very clear way, like compliments, attention, giving effort, real effort I'm talking about. But here's the problem, Aries. If I check with the Six of Swords energy, I feel like you're still emotionally moving away from something. So the question becomes, are you open to receiving this new attention that you are getting, or are you still looking backward? Because you need to come into your Pentacles energy to be stable and clear from your end and have that spark back in yourself, like the Page of Wands, in order to receive this love. So if you're not ready, take your time and then move forward. But if you are in a relationship, the bouquet brings softness back. You may notice your partner trying more, or you yourself becoming more expressive and affectionate, but only if you stop carrying the past resentments into the present. I feel like for Aries, your April's love lesson is more like, don't punish new energy for the old wounds. Rather, nurture your relationship back into what you have always wanted it to become. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for your love life. Now, let's see what's happening in your finances or career. Okay, we have the main male. Now, career is where the kind of things get interesting for you. With the energy of main male here, it represents authority, structure, and decision making. This could be you stepping into a leadership role, or someone in power is influencing your direction. Now, combining it with the sun entering Aries and Saturn's karmic pressure still kind of active, I feel like you are being tested here right now. And for this, I would like to ask you a question, as in, are you reacting emotionally, or are you acting like someone who actually wants stability? Because that is what the King of Pentacles energy is trying to bring out of you. King of Pentacles says you're capable of long-term success, but Page of Wands do kind of warns you not to jump impulsively just because something feels exciting. For some of you, I feel like you might be leaving an old job and getting into something new, because I can see that you are getting a new opportunity and you might not know from where it is coming. Or you might be thinking your entire approach, like rethinking your entire approach to money and how you handle it. Financially, this is a very grounding month, not flashy gains, rather very smart gains. Your action should be very much like thinking long term and not fast money. Okay, the more you think about your long term growth, the better you will perform this month. Now, finally, let's see with your health. We have fortune. Great. Now, health actually improves this month, but only if you stop ignoring your body. Okay, early April stresses are because of the Pisces cluster. You might feel fatigued, you might be overthinking, and because of that you might be having sleep disruption. But as the month progresses, your energy will improve significantly and you'll be able to see it visibly. Fortune here, the fortune card here shows recovery, but it's tied to your own choices as well. If you continue pushing yourself without rest, you will still feel drained. So what you have to do is, if you shift into rather better habits, your body will respond quickly this month. Also, with the page of wands energy, it shows a burst of energy, so don't go from burnout to overexertion overnight as well. Okay, rather use that energy to keep yourself balanced and become more fit. Now, Aries, for you, I feel like this month is not about fighting everything. Rather, it is about leaving what drains you, closing what has already, like, closing what destabilizes you, and rather choosing something that makes you more calm and makes you more balanced, and rebuilding your confidence from something real, not temporary validation. The more you do that, the better you perform as the year goes forward for you. So that's it for Aries. We'll be moving on to our next zodiac, which is Taurus. Hello Taurus. Let's see what we have in store for our zodiac sign of Taurus for the month of April. We have Four of Pentacles, the Hierophant, Knight of Cups. Taurus. April starts in a way that honestly suits you a lot, but also kind of exposes your biggest comfort trap. At the beginning of the month, with the heavy Pisces cluster still active, emotions are unclear. People are acting confusing and stability feels slightly off for you. And so your instincts. Now, hold on tight, because that's exactly what Four of Pentacles shows for you. You're protecting your energy, your money, your emotions, maybe even your heart. You are being guarded. You're not being open very easily. You're not trusting quickly, and you are conserving. But here's the problem. Protection can quietly turn into stagnation. Then mid-April hits for you. Sun shifts into Aries, and suddenly the energy around you becomes more active and more demanding, more forward moving as well. And right in the middle of that, your Hierophant card shows up. Now, this is being forced to evaluate, it is forcing you to evaluate what you actually believe in, your values, your standards, your idea of commitment, stability, loyalty, but also in actions and not only through words. You may find yourself questioning, am I staying because it is the right thing to do, or is it because it is comfortable? This could show up in your relationship, in your career, or even in your personal habits as well. Then by the end of the May, when Venus moves into Taurus, which is your sign, your energy kind of softens and the Knight of Cups appears. This is an emotional movement. This is an expression. Someone offering something, or you finally allowing yourself to feel something again instead of staying guarded and staying close. For you, this month is going to move like closed, questioning, and then opening up. And that transition is the entire lesson for you. Now, let's see in depth like what is happening in each sector of your life. Okay, for your love, we have the bouquet. Now, this is where things actually get interesting for you, because bouquet is attraction, admiration, romance, and appreciation. And with Venus entering Taurus sign, which is your sign, this is literally like your moment in love. You become more magnetic without even trying. If you're single, then someone is obviously noticing you, not in a very subtle way, in a very clear way, with compliments, gestures, effort. Someone might even approach some of you or show interest that feels genuine and not confusing. But the Four of Pentacles shows your hesitation. You're not jumping in, you're analyzing, you're protecting your heart, and while that's understandable, it can also block something good for you. So, trade carefully. And if you are already in a relationship, the bouquet brings in warmth back for you. The effort from your partner returns. Either your partner is trying more or you are. But the Hierophant shows that deeper questioning are also coming up for you in the relationship. This is not just about romance. This is about, is this relationship really aligned with your long-term values? And the question cannot be avoided this month. So love will become softer, more expressive, and even more real. So what is the challenge that you are going to face? You have to stop guarding yourself so tightly that nothing can reach you. It is okay to build up a wall to protect yourself, but keep a little bit of a window open so that you'll be able to see the beauty outside as well. Okay, now let's see what is happening in your career, finances, and everything. Okay, we have occupation. Good, because career for you, I feel it is very steady. It does require effort, but still it has a very steady path for you. Occupation is not glamorous, it is not sudden wealth, it's work, consistency, showing up every day when you don't even feel like it. At the beginning of the April, I feel like Four of Pentacles shows financial caution. You may be holding on to money, avoiding risks, or feeling slightly restricted, which I feel is kind of okay in the current situation that is happening economically, and with everything, with every prices going higher up. Or maybe you have had experiences where you have spent a lot and then didn't have extra. So at this particular time, if you're doubting, that is okay. And honestly, it's not, and I feel like that is okay to be guarded, because I do not feel that there is anything bad that is happening with you for in regards to your career or your finances this month, because the Hierophant kind of suggests a structured environment. Also, for corporate jobs, traditional roles, and stable systems, you may feel pulled towards security rather than risk, which is very common. Now, but here's where the Knight of Cups energy kind of shifts things slightly for you. By the end of the month, you may feel drawn towards something more fulfilling, a role that feels better emotionally, a project that actually excites you. So there is a chance of switch for you as well. Now, don't get dramatic and quit everything overnight. This is more about aligning your work with meaning, not escaping responsibility. Because for you, I can confirm there is stable, controlled growth for you. All you have to do is stay disciplined, but do not ignore what actually makes you happy. Just because you have gotten an offer with more money but the work doesn't align with what you have always wanted to, then think about it again before accepting anything. Okay, now moving towards your health, we have here is joyfulness. Beautiful. Now, health for you is deeply tied to your emotional state this month. Why I say beautiful is because joyfulness might seem as a very simple card, but it is sometimes also brutally honest. Your energy improves when your mood improves. And Taurus, you are a very sensitive person, and not only you are sensitive to your environment and people's reactions as well. Because at the beginning of April, you may feel slightly heavy with low motivation, slight emotional withdrawal. That's the Pisces influence that is happening right now. But as Venus enters Taurus, that is your sign, your energy lifts up. You feel more grounded, more comfortable, and more like yourself again. However, Four of Pentacles does show one issue, that is you are holding tension in your body. Stress doesn't explode for you, rather it sits quietly in your shoulders, your back, your routine. So your health advice is simple. Move your body, do not isolate yourself, and allow yourself pleasure without any guilt. Because joyfulness isn't just happiness, but rather it's a release. Overall, Taurus, I feel that this month is asking you one thing, like, are you choosing comfort or alignment? Because they are not always the same. You start the month very guarded, you end the month with an open perspective. But only if you allow yourself to move forward with it. That's it, Taurus. Let's move on to our next zodiac sign, which is Gemini. Hello Gemini, let's see what's in store for you for the month of April for 2026. Seven of Cups, Page of Swords, and the Lovers. Gemini, April starts exactly how your brain likes to operate and exactly how it sabotages you. At the beginning of the month, with the Pisces heavy transit still active, your mind is not grounded. It's imaginative, distracted, overstimulated, and that's where the Seven of Cups lands perfectly. Too many thoughts, too many possibilities, too many what ifs. You may be thinking about multiple career paths, multiple people, multiple outcomes, and instead of clarity, all you are getting is confusion. The symbolism of Seven of Cups shows multiple options floating in front of you. Not all of them are real. Some are illusions, some are distractions, some are projections of what you want to be true. And Gemini, you are dangerously good at convincing yourself something makes sense even when it doesn't. Because then mid-April shifts for you. As soon as the sun energy changes to Aries, and suddenly your focus sharpens a little. That's where the Page of Swords come in. Well, that is a good sign. Now you are starting to observe, question, and watching. You are not blindly believing everything anymore, rather, you are analyzing. You may check someone's behavior more carefully, rethink a decision, start making better questions and choices. But Page of Swords has a downside. What is that? Overthinking. Watching instead of acting, gathering information but delaying the decision. And then June energy leaks early into the April through the Lovers. Now you cannot avoid the decision anymore. The Lovers is not just romance, it's a choice, a conscious, emotional and logical decisions that defines your direction. So your April storyline is brutally clear. Confusion, observation and then decisions. But rather it is going to get delayed for you. So what you need to do is, instead of delaying the decision, instead of observing, as soon as you observe and find what you have already wanted, start acting on it immediately. And you do not get to stay in the middle of any of this. Now let's look at love. Okay, we have the stork. When we talk about love, because your mind is about to run in circles over here. Why? Stork kind of represents communication, a little bit of nervous energy, overthinking conversations, and constant mental activity. If you are single, this kind of looks like texting, talking, analyzing, rereading the messages like a detective to analyze the patterns and what has been happening in the sender's mind. You may connect with someone mentally very quickly. The conversations will also flow. The interest is there, but Seven of Cups suggests that you do not fully trust it. You might think, is this real or just temporary? Okay? And instead of enjoying it, as soon as you question this, you start analyzing it all over again rather than being in the moment for that particular situation or for that particular moment. If you are currently in a relationship, the storks can bring a lot of talking but not always clarity. Discussions may go in circles because small issues may become bigger because of the over analyzing that is happening, and with too much of words but rather no clarity. Now here's what the lover changes everything though. By the end of April, you either define the connection or mentally exhaust yourself. There's no let's see what just happens energy over here, which is good because you get a strong mental connection, proper communication and exactly proper attraction. Overthinking can ruin something that was actually very simple. So what you need to do is stop analyzing feelings like they were a math problem, but rather feel what you're feeling. Okay, let's see what's there in your career and in your finances. We have message. Okay, career for you is about information, communication and opportunity signals. Sorry, as I was talking about singles, so it's somehow jumbled up. But yes, as I was saying, signals. Because message here suggests that something important is reaching you this month. This could be an email, a job update, or even an offer. And for some of you, it can be a feedback as well. And because you are in the Seven of Cups energy, you may initially not take it seriously or may feel unsure about how to respond. But Page of Swords shows you investigating, reading between the lines, trying to understand what this opportunity actually means, which is actually a very good sign for you, because your problem is kind of hesitation. For you, Gemini, you can sit in analysis mode for too long, but the lover is going to force a decision out of you anyway. Take the opportunity or walk away from it. Financially, this is not a bad month, but it is not stable either, because there is a transition that is happening. Your money situation depends on your decision making speed and clarity. So respond, do not just think, because the more you think, the more time and money you are going to lose. So think and make a decision immediately, because otherwise you might, for some of you, you might see stagnation, and being in stagnation is not something that we need for ourselves right now. Finally, with your health, we have thoughts. I'm getting overthinking energy. This is where everything kind of connects also, actually, for your Seven of Cups, your Page of Swords, and the Lovers as well. Like, thoughts shows mental overload directly affecting your body, and honestly, no surprise. Seven of Cups, then the Stork energy, then the Page of Swords energy. Your brain never shuts up this month. This can show up as poor sleep, anxiety, overthinking, mental fatigue. The issue is not physical weakness, but rather it is mental exhaustion for you. You may feel tired even when you haven't done much physically. Your body is reacting to your mind constantly being active. The solution is not complicated, but you probably won't like it. Reduce the screen time, reduce overstimulation, and stop replaying conversations in your head. By the end of April, once you make the decisions shown by the Lovers, your mental state will improve significantly, because uncertainty is what's draining you. So ultimately, for you, the overall message is, Gemini, you're not confused because the situation is unclear. You're confused because you keep looking at it from 10 different angles instead of choosing one. April does not reward thinking, it rather rewards deciding. So start deciding for yourself, Gemini. That's it. Let's move on to our next zodiac sign, which is Cancer. Hello, Cancer. Let's see what April 2026 has in store for you with the tarot. The Moon, Queen of Cups, Three of Wands. Cancer, April starts in your natural element, but that does not mean it feels comfortable. With the heavy Pisces cluster early in the month, your emotional and intuitive side is on overdrive. And that's exactly where the moon lands. This is uncertainty, intuition, confusion, and emotional sensitivity all mixed together. You may feel like something is off, but you can't fully explain it. It could be someone's behavior, a relationship dynamic, your own emotional reaction, and there's the problem. You feel it deeply, but you do not have clear evidence. So you start questioning yourself. The moon creates an emotional fog for you, not lies necessarily, but incomplete information. You may you may be overthinking someone's intention. You might feel emotionally unsettled without knowing why, and even sense something shifting beneath the surface. But then, the mid-April, and the sun shifts and the clarity begins slowly returning. You step into the Queen of Cups energy. Now, this is your power. You stop doubting your feelings, you start understanding them, and the Queen of Cups is the most emotional intelligence person out there. It's not just feeling everything, it's knowing what it means. You become calmer, more grounded emotionally, you stop reacting and start observing. And then by the end of April, where Three of Wands appears, now your focus shifts outward. You're no longer stuck in emotional processing, you're thinking about the future, planning, looking ahead, considering what comes instead of replaying what already happened. So your month flows like this: confusion, emotional clarity, forward movement. Now let's see what's there in love for you. The key. Love is not vague this month, it becomes very clear. Key is one of the strongest card you can get for relationship. It represents clarity, significance, and something that actually matters. If you are single, April may bring someone who feels important, not casual. This is not surface level attraction, this is something that clicks on a deeper level. But here's the catch. The moon shows that at the beginning of the month, you may not trust it. You may think, is this real or am I imagining it? That's your fear talking, not your intuition. By the time you reach the Queen of Cups energy, you understand what you're feeling and, more importantly, why. If you are in a relationship, the key represents a breakthrough. A conversation happens, something becomes clear, something that was unspoken finally gets addressed. This could strengthen the relationship significantly or show you what needs to change. Emotional clarity, meaningful connection, deeper understanding is all that you are getting this month. The challenge being you have to trust your intuition without letting fear distort it for you. Now let's see for your career and money. We have unexpected income. Now, career and money carry potential, but it does not arrive in a straight line. Unexpected income suggests financial improvement, but not through your usual routine. This could be a side opportunity, a bonus, freelance or creative income, or something you didn't initially plan. At the beginning of the month, the moon shows uncertainty about your career directions. You may feel unsure about where things are going or whether you are making the right decisions. You may even underestimate your own value. But Queen of Cups shows intuitive decision making and improving. You start trusting your instincts instead of second guessing them. By the time you reach Three of Wands, you're thinking bigger. You're not just asking what works right now, you're asking what grows long term. Financially, this is a growth month, but it requires you to stay open to opportunities that don't look traditional for you. Finally, let's see with your health, we have faithfulness. Health for you is directly tied to your emotional consistency. Faithfulness is about a routine, stability, and discipline. And as in Cancer, let's be honest, your routine depends on your mood. If you feel good, you take care of yourself. If you feel off, everything slips off. April is trying to fix that. The moon may bring emotional ups and downs early in the month, which can affect your sleep, appetite, and energy levels. But Queen of Cups shows emotional balance returning when you stop suppressing what you feel. Now, with the presence of faithfulness, it tells you your health improves when your routine stays consistent, not when your emotions fluctuate. So, your job this month is very simple but annoying. Keep a routine even when you don't feel like it. Do not isolate yourself. Don't ignore emotional stress, because by the end of April, your energy stabilizes significantly if you stay consistent. And the final message for you: you are not too sensitive, you're just aware of things from before they become obvious. The problem is not your intuition, the problem is doubting it. April teaches you to trust what you feel without letting fear rewrite it for you, Cancer. That's it for you. We'll be moving on to our next zodiac, which is Leo. Hello, Leo. Let's see what's in store for you for the month of April 2026. Okay, we have 5 of Wands, Strength, and 6 of Wands. Leo, April is not calm for you, but it's also not destructive either. It's competitive, testing, and then rewarding. At the beginning of the month, with the Pisces cluster still messing with your emotional clarity, you're not fully grounded, but instead of withdrawing like water signs, you react. That's where 5 of Wands shows up for you. This is tension, competition, conflicting opinions, and small clashes that feel bigger than they should be. You may feel like people are not understanding you, too many voices are interfering, situations are becoming unnecessarily complicated. And the truth is, some of it is external, but some of it is internal frustration looking for a place to land. Leo, like you, as a Leo, doesn't like feeling out of control, and every time that you feel out of control, it kind of creates chaos in your head, and the early April kind of creates exactly that feeling for you. Then, though, mid April shifts, Sun moves into Aries, and your energy starts aligning again. That's where strength appears. Now, instead of reacting, you start regulating. Strength is not loud dominance, but it is controlled power. It's you choosing when to respond, how to respond, and what actually deserves your energy. You start realizing that not every situation needs your reaction, and that changes everything. By the time we reach the end of April, Six of Wands appears for you. Recognition, victory, and validation. Whatever felt chaotic at the beginning of this month starts making sense, and more importantly, you come out of it looking strong, composed, and respected. So, your April storyline is conflict, control, and recognition. Now, let's see what's there in love. Okay. Love actually stabilizes for you, but only after you stop reacting emotionally to everything. Sun is one of the strongest positive cards. It represents clarity, happiness, warmth, and visible connection. If you are single, someone may enter your life who is very clear about their interest, no confusion, no mixed signals, no guessing games. But here's the issue. Five of Wands shows your energy at the beginning of the month is reactive. You may misinterpret intentions, get irritated easily, assume conflict where there isn't any. If you calm down and allow things to unfold, this connection becomes genuinely positive. If you are in a relationship, the Sun is bringing warmth back. Communication improves, attraction strengthens, but only if ego doesn't take over. Strength is the key here. Clear, positive, expressive love energy is what I'm getting for you for the month of April. Your only challenge being your reactions can either build or ruin it. Now, let's see for your career. We have high honor. Career is strong, but it is earned through pressure. High honor shows recognition, respect, and possibly promotion as acknowledgement of your work, but Five of Wands explains the environment. You may be dealing with competition, workplace tension, people trying to prove themselves, and Leo, you are right in the middle of it. At the beginning of April, it may feel like you have to defend your position to prove your value, but strength shows that the way you handle this matter more than the situation itself. If you react emotionally, you lose control. If you stay composed, you stand out. By the time you reach Six of Wands, your efforts is recognized. Financially, this is not a weak month, it is a prove yourself month. Your action should be control your reactions, not the situation. Finally, let's see what's going on with your health. Okay. Hope. Health improves, but it is tied to stress management. Hope is recovery, improvement, and gradual strengthening. At the beginning of the month, Five of Wands may create mental stress, irritability, physical tension. You may feel restless, like your energy has nowhere to go. Strength suggests physical regulations help for you, like exercise, movements, controlled breathing, structured routine, because by the end of April, your energy will improve significantly if you follow the same. But here's the catch. Hope is not automatic. It improves when you manage stress instead of feeling it. The final and overall message for you, Leo: not everything is a battle, some things are just noise, and April is testing whether you can tell the difference. You don't win by reaching louder or reacting louder, but rather you win by staying in control of your emotions. That's it for Leo. We'll be moving on to our next zodiac sign, which is Virgo. Hello Virgo. Let's see what's in store for you for the month of April. Eight of Pentacles, the Hermit, and the Ace of Swords. Virgo, April is not chaotic for you, it's focused, internal, and then sharply clear. At the beginning of the month, with all the Pisces energy sitting opposite to your sign, this may feel slightly off, especially emotionally. But instead of getting lost in it, you do what you always do, you work. That's where Eight of Pentacles shows up. You throw yourself into something productive. This could be your job, a skill you're building, organizing your life, fixing something that feels inefficient. The symbolism here is repetition and refinement. You are improving something step by step, not dramatically, but consistently. But then comes the Hermit, and this is where things get deeper. Mid April, as the external world gets louder, you pull inward. You start questioning, is what I'm doing actually aligned, or am I just staying busy? And Virgo, that question matters more than you think. The Hermit is not isolation out of sadness, it's intentional withdrawal for clarity. You may take space from people, reduce social interaction, or simply spend more time thinking. You are searching for truth, not distraction. And then by the end of April, Ace of Swords cuts through everything: clarity, decision, truth. Something becomes obvious, a realization hits, a conversation clears, confusion, a decision is made that you have been delaying. So your month flows like work, reflection, clarity. Let's see what we have in love as we move through the month. We have the journal. Love is not fully revealed this month, and that's intentional. Journal in kind of represents hidden information, privacy, and things not yet fully understood. If you are single, you may meet someone who is not immediately open. This person may be private, reserved, or slow to reveal their intentions. And instead of letting things unfold, Virgo, you analyze it. You try to figure them out before they have even had the time to show you who they are. The Hermit energy reinforces this. You're observing more than engaging. If you're in a relationship, the journal suggests that something is not fully being discussed. Not necessarily deception, but something unspoken. This could be feelings not expressed, concerns being avoided, or simply emotional distance. Ace of Swords tells you that by the end of April, this cannot remain hidden. A conversation happens, truth will definitely come out. Now, you are getting clarity in love, understanding what's real. The challenge being you have to stop trying to figure everything out silently and actually start communicating. Now, let's see for your finances and your career. Occupation. Career is your strength area this month, Virgo. Occupation kind of aligns perfectly with the Eight of Pentacles. This is effort, discipline, and consistency. You are building something and you are doing it properly. Not rushing, not cutting corners, actually improving your skill set or position. At the beginning of the month, you may feel like progress is slow, and honestly it is, but it is stable. The Hermit suggests you may also rethink your long-term career directions. You may ask yourself if this is what I actually want long-term or not. By the time Ace of Swords arrives, you will have an answer, and this could lead to a clear decision, maybe a new plan, or even a shift in direction. Financially, this is not a flashy month, it's a build your foundation month for you. And finally, with your health, we have thoughts. Now, health for you is directly tied to your mind this month. Thought is mental processing, overthinking, and internal pressure. And Virgo, this is where you live. At the beginning of April, you may feel mentally busy but productive, but as Hermit energy increases, you may start overanalyzing things more deeply. This can lead to mental fatigue, tension, sleep disruption, overthinking small issues, but Ace of Swords help. But only after you make a decision though. Because the real issue is not your workload, but rather its unresolved thoughts. Your body is reacting to your mind constantly being active. Your solution is not complicated. Stop replaying scenarios, write things down instead of looping them mentally. Allow yourself a mental break. By the end of April, once clarity arrives, your energy improves significantly. The final message for you, Virgo, is you don't need information, You do not need more information. You just need to make a decisions based on what you have, because that will be more than enough. Because at some point thinking becomes avoidance, and April is where that line becomes very clear for you, Virgo. That's it. We'll be moving on to our next zodiac sign. So let's get started with Libra. Hello Libra, let's see what's in store for you for the month of April 2026. We have Two of Swords, we have Justice, we have Knight of Swords. So Libra, April is basically the universe saying make the decisions you have been avoiding. At the beginning of the month, with the Pisces heavy energy clouding everything, you are sitting in Two of Swords. This is indecision, avoidance, knowing something needs to be addressed but choosing not to look at it fully. You may be telling yourself, it's fine, it will resolve itself, I just need more time. No, you don't. You need clarity. Two of Swords shows you emotionally and mentally blocking something because dealing with it feels uncomfortable. This could be a relationship that needs definition, a career decision you need keep postponing, or a truth you already know but don't want to confront. Because then mid-April hits, Sun moves into Aries, and suddenly you can't sit in the middle anymore. That's where justice appears. This is your card, and it doesn't negotiate. Justice demands balance, truth, and accountability. Something becomes very clear: what is fair, what is not, what you have been tolerating, and what you shouldn't be. And the important part is this: you're not confused anymore, you just have to act. Then, by the end of April, Knight of Swords arrives. Now things will move fast. Once you decide, you act quickly, conversation happens, messages are sent, actions are taken. So your April storyline is avoidance, realization, and then action. And you don't get to stay in the first stage for too long, because the universe will force you out of it. Let's see what is it happening in your love life. Crossroad. Love is literally about choice this month. Crossroad is decision energy. Two paths, two direction, and no neutral option. If you are single, you may find yourself choosing between two people, or a person and your independence, or even between staying closed off versus opening up. And the beginning of April, Two of Swords shows you are hesitating. You do not want to rush, you don't want to make the wrong choice. But here's the truth: not choosing is still a choice. If you are in a relationship, Crossroads suggests a serious conversation about the future, like where is it going, is this stable, are we aligned, because justice makes this unavoidable for you. By the end of April, Knight of Swords brings the conversation, clarity in love, no more guessing, but the challenge being you have to stop avoiding the truth just to keep things peaceful. Okay, let's move on to your career, and let's see, we have official person. Career revolves around authority, structure, and formal decisions for you, Libra. Official person suggests involvement with a boss, a manager, an authority figure, or a system that requires approval. At the beginning of the month, you may feel uncertain about your position or direction. Two of Swords kind of shows hesitation. You may be waiting for the right time to act or to speak. Justice changes that. This could involve contracts, agreements, performance reviews, or decisions that affect your role. By the end of the month, Knight of Swords shows fast movement. You may speak up, negotiate, apply for something, or make a bold move. Financially, this is a decision-based month. Your stability depends on whether you act or stay passive. Your action should be rather stop waiting for perfect clarity. Rather, you already know more than enough, so take action. Finally, let's see with your health, we have journey. Health is connected to movement and change for you. Journey over here suggests travel, changes in routine, or a shift in lifestyle. At the beginning of the month, the Two of Swords may show neglect. You may ignore small signs like fatigue, stress, imbalance because you don't want to deal with it, but justice brings balance back. This could mean correcting your routine, improving your sleep, adjusting diet, or finally addressing something you have been postponing. Knight of Swords can bring burst of energy but also stress if not managed properly. So your health advice is simple: balance your movement with rest, because pushing too hard after neglecting yourself doesn't fix all the problem. Final message for you, Libra: peace is not the absence of conflict, it's the result of making the right decision. And April is forcing you to choose what's right, not what's easy. That's it for Libra. We'll be moving on to our next zodiac, which is Scorpio. Hello, Scorpio. Let's see what's in store for you for the month of April. We have Death card, we have Seven of Swords, and we have Ace of Cups. Now, Scorpio, April is not subtle for you, it's transformative, revealing, and then emotionally renewing. At the beginning of the month, with the Pisces heavy energy activating your emotional depth, death appears. And for you, this is not dramatic, this is familiar. Something is ending, not suddenly, not violently, but definitely. This could be a relationship dynamic, a mindset, a pattern of behavior, or even your attachment to a certain outcome. Death is closure, but more importantly, it is release. You may feel a quiet sense of, I can't continue like this, and instead of resisting it, you accept it. Then comes the Seven of Swords, and this is where things get uncomfortable. This card reveals that the hidden behavior, avoidance, or something not being fully transparent for you. Now, this does not automatically means betrayal. Rather, it means someone not being fully honest, you realizing you have been avoiding something, or recognizing a pattern that wasn't obvious before. So, Scorpio, your intuition is sharp this month. You see what others try to hide. You also see what you have been hiding from yourself. And then, after that clarity, comes Ace of Cups. Now, the emotional reset begins. This is new emotional energy, new love, healing, openness, softness after intensity. But here's the catch: Ace of Cups only enters once death is accepted and Seven of Swords is acknowledged. Your storyline is ending, truth revealed, and finally with emotional renewal. Now, let's see with your love life. We have the Snake. Now, let's address love, because this is where things get layered for you. Snake is not always cheating, but rather it is complication. Third party influence, jealousy, manipulation, or emotional complexity. If you are single, this suggests you may be dealing with someone who is not straightforward. This could be someone already involved with someone else, someone emotionally unavailable, or someone who creates confusion intentionally. Seven of Swords supports this. You may feel something is off, but I can't prove it. And Scorpio, you don't need proof, if you feel it. If you are in a relationship, Snake suggests external influence. This could be interference from a third person, jealousy, or underlying mistrust. Now, here's where death changes everything. Something ends. This could mean ending of a toxic dynamic, cutting off all third party influence, and finally readdressing what's been ignored. And then Ace of Cups brings the shift. For some, this is new love after release. For others, it's emotional healing within the same relationship after truth is exposed. The good thing being emotional renewal, deeper connection, and clarity, and the bad thing is you have to face what's uncomfortable first. Now, let's see what is happening with your career. Okay, we have Thief. Career is where you need to stay alert, Scorpio. Thief does not always mean literal theft, but it does indicate loss of energy, unfair situations, someone taking your credit, or something slipping through your hands. Combined with the Seven of Swords, this is not a month to be careless. You may feel undervalued, overlooked, or like something isn't being handled fairly. Death suggests you may walk away from something that feels unjust. Ace of Cups suggests new opportunity after that. Financially, be cautious, check details, don't trust blindly, don't ignore small inconsistencies. Your action to be taken is protect your energy, your work, and your value. Finally, let's see with our health card. We have Sorrow. Health is emotional first and physical second this month for almost all of the zodiacs. Sorrow indicates emotional heaviness, and Scorpio, you feel things deeply even when you don't show it. For early April, it may bring in emotional stress, mental exhaustion, or a sense of internal pressure. Death suggests emotional release is necessary. If you suppress it, it builds. If you process it, it clears. Seven of Swords may also include internal stress from overthinking or holding things in. By the time Ace of Cups arrives, emotional healing begins, but only if you allow it. Your health advice: Do not isolate, do not suppress, and don't pretend you are fine when you are not, because your body will carry what your mind avoids. The final message for you, Scorpio: you already know what's not right. You have known for a while. April doesn't bring in new truth, it focuses you to act on the truth you have been ignoring. And once you do, everything changes for you. That's it for you, Scorpio. We'll be moving on to our next zodiac, which is Sagittarius. Hello, Sagittarius. Let's see what's in store for you for the month of April. We have Knight of Wands, we have Temperance, and we have Chariot. Now, Sagittarius, April starts exactly how you like it: fast, exciting, and slightly impulsive. With the early Pisces energy creating emotional discomfort, your instinct is not to sit in it, it is to move. That's where Knight of Wands appears. You want change, movement, action. You may feel restless, like staying still is suffocating you. This could show up as wanting to travel, wanting to leave a situation, starting something new quickly, chasing excitement just to avoid feeling stuck. And honestly, the beginning of April supports that energy to some extent. But here is the issue. Not all movement is progress. That's where Temperance enters mid-April, and this is where things slow down whether you like it or not. Temperance is balance, moderation, and integration. It forces you to pause and ask, am I moving towards something or just away from something? You may realize that someone or some of your actions were reactive, not intentional. This doesn't stop your movement, but it refines it. And then by the end of April, the Chariot appears. Now, this is controlled movement, direction, focus, and determination. Unlike Knight of Wands, which is impulsive, the Chariot knows where it is going. So your month flows like this: impulse, adjustment, and direction. Let's move to love and let's see. Okay, love moves quickly for you this month. Rider is a fast energy: messages, meetings, new connections, sudden developments. If you're single, someone may enter your life quickly. This could be a new person, someone reaching out, or a sudden shift in an existing connection. Knight of Wands kind of supports this attraction, passion, and fast moving energy. But wherever Temperance steps in, just because something starts fast doesn't mean it is going to be stable. You may feel strong chemistry, excitement, and immediate connection, but you need to slow down enough to understand that what this actually is. If you are in a relationship, Rider suggests renewed movement. This could be travel together, new experiences, or rekindling excitement. But again, balance matters. This is good because excitement, attraction, and movement in love is shown, but your challenge is not confusing speed with depth. Let's see about your career and finances. We have change. Your career is shifting. There's no stable, same routine energy here. Change suggests new roles, job transition, shifting responsibilities, or even relocation. At the beginning of April, Knight of Wands shows you wanting to move quickly. You may apply for something suddenly, or you might consider quitting or jump into a new opportunity. But Temperance warns against impulsive decisions about planning. Then the Chariot confirms that by the end of the month, you do move forward, but with clarity. So yes, change will happen, but the difference is early April, reactive change; late April, you'll have an intentional change. Financially, this is unstable if you rush, stable if you plan it accordingly. Your actions should be pause before you leap, then leap properly. Finally, with your health, we have Journey. Journey here suggests movement this month. It also says travel, physical activity, change in routine, because Knight of Wands shows burst of energy. You may feel very active, very driven, but this can also lead to burnout, overexertion, and inconsistent energy levels. Temperance again becomes your anchor, so you need balance, hydration, and proper rest. The Chariot shows strong physical energy by the end of April, but only if you do not exhaust yourself early. This is not a weak health period, it's a misalignment or a mismanagement risk month for you. For you, Sagittarius, my final message is you don't need to run, you need direction. Because movement without purpose just brings you back to the same place, but rather faster the second time. So that's it for you, Sagittarius. See if this resonated. because we are moving on to our next zodiac, which is the Capricorn. Hello Capricorn, let's see what we have in store for you for the month of April. We have the Devil, Three of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. Now, Capricorn, April starts with pressure, but not random pressure, it's familiar pressure. The Devil is your card, and when it shows up, it doesn't mean something bad is happening, it means something binding is happening, something you feel tied to. This could be a job you can't easily leave, or financial responsibilities, a relationship dynamic that feels heavy, or even your own expectation of yourself. At the beginning of April, especially with the Pisces influence affecting emotional clarity, you may feel like you're carrying more than usual. You're doing what needs to be done, but it doesn't feel light. And Capricorn, you don't complain, but you feel it. Then mid-April shifts, the Three of Wands appear. Now your perspective changes. You're no longer just dealing with the present, you start thinking ahead. You begin asking, where is all this actually leading me to? This is planning energy, expansion thinking. You start looking beyond your current situation and considering new directions. You may think about changing roles, expanding your income, relocating, or building something even bigger. And then by the end of April, King of Pentacles appears. You are now stabilized. You move from pressure to control. King of Pentacles is financially mature, leadership, it shows leadership and has a grounding success. You step into a position where you feel more secure, more confident, and more in control of your material world. So your April storyline is pressure, perspective, and stability. Let's see what's happening in love then. Okay, love feels stable but heavy. Anchor represents long term commitment, stability, and something that is not easily moved. If you're single, you may not be interested in casual connections at all this month. You're looking for something real, something that lasts, something that feels secure. But the Devil suggests you may also be holding on to something emotionally, even if they are not actively in your life. So the question becomes, are you open to something new, or are you still anchored to the past? If you are in a relationship, anchor shows commitment but also routine. This can feel secure, predictable, and stable, but also repetitive, emotionally heavy, or lacking excitement. Three of Wands suggest a need for growth in the relationship. King of Pentacles shows long term stability is possible, but emotional expression needs more effort. The good being having loyalty, commitment, and long term potential. The challenge being not letting the relationship become stagnant. Now, let's see what's happening in your career. Now that love is done, we have community. Career is not isolated this month for you. Community suggests networking, collaboration, team involvement, or opportunities through connection. At the beginning of April, the Devil may make you feel stuck in your current role and responsibilities. If you may feel like I have to do this, but Three of Wands shows expansion through people. Opportunities may come through colleagues, professional networks, or group environments. King of Pentacles confirms financial stability building by the end of the month. This is not sudden wealth, this is structured long-term growth. Your action for this month should be use your network, don't try to carry everything alone yourself. Finally, with your health, we have is melancholy. Now, health is affected by emotional weight. Melancholy does not mean illness, it means heaviness. You may feel mentally tired, emotionally drained, low motivation, and Capricorn, you are very good at pushing through this without acknowledging it. The Devil shows internal pressure, melancholy shows emotional fatigue. Three of Wands suggests that planning something ahead, even something small, can improve your mood significantly. King of Pentacles suggests grounding help, routine, stable health, physical structure. Your health advice being rest is not your weakness, but rather it is a maintenance. And your final message, you are not stuck, Capricorn, you are just carrying something that needs to be adjusted. And once you shift your perspective, you will regain control all over again. That's it for Capricorn. We'll be moving on to our second last zodiac, which is Aquarius. Hello Aquarius, let's see what's in store for you for the month of April. We have the Star, Five of Swords, Ten of Cups. Okay, Aquarius, April starts in your own element, but not in a loud way, in a quite internal reset kind of a way. At the beginning of the month, with the Pisces cluster still influencing your mental and emotional space, the star appears. This is your card and it represents healing, clarity, and reconnecting with your vision. Something in your life begins to feel possible again. Maybe earlier you felt disconnected, slightly lost, or unsure about your directions, but April begins with a sense of I'm finding myself again. This is not a dramatic success, it's quite alignment. Then things get complicated because mid April, Five of Swords shows up, and this is conflict, but not always external. Sometimes it is internal. Sometimes it's situations where someone wins but at a cost. You may find yourself dealing with misunderstanding, ego clashes, passive aggressive behavior, or situations where you question whether something is worth the energy. Aquarius, you don't like unnecessary conflict, but this card suggests you may be pulled into it anyway. The real question here is it worth engaging in, or am I better walking away? You are going to question like that. Then by the end of April, 10 of Cups appears. Now everything softens, emotional fulfillment, peace, harmony, and stability aligns for you. So your storyline for the month of April is healing, conflict, emotional resolution. Let's see with your love life, we have the house. Love focuses on stability, comfort, and emotional security this month. House represents home, family, stability, long term emotional grounding. If you are single, this suggests someone may enter your life who feels stable, not chaotic. This is not intense, dramatic attraction, but rather this is a calm, grounded connection. But here's the issue. Five of Swords suggests you may question it. You may think, is this too simple? Is something missing? Because as an Aquarius, you tend to overvalue complexity. But house reminds you stability is not boring, but it's safe. If you are in a relationship, house brings focus to home life. This could involve spending more time together, discussing living arrangements, or strengthening emotional foundation. Ten of Cups confirms that by the end of April, emotional harmony is possible. Stable, peaceful, emotional, fulfilling love is what you are getting, but the challenge is not creating problems where there are none. Now, let's see what is happening with your career and finances. We have here is change. Change, like your career is shifting, but not chaotically. Change suggests movements in your professional life, role adjustments, new opportunities, different responsibilities, or a shift in direction. Like at the beginning of this month, the star shows hope and vision. You may start thinking about what you actually want long term. Five of Swords suggests conflict or tension in your current environment. This could be disagreement, competition, or feeling like something is not aligned. You may consider walking away from something that doesn't feel right, and honestly, that may be the correct move for you. By the end of the month, 10 of Cups suggests whatever shift you make leads to better emotional satisfaction. Financially, this is not unstable, it is transitional. Your action should be choosing alignment over ego battles. Let's see finally with your health. What we have here is reunion. Okay, health improves when you reconnect with what works. Reunion suggests returning to old healthy habits, routines that once worked, or activities that brought balance in your life. At the beginning of April, the star supports healing. You may feel mentally lighter, more hopeful, but Five of Swords shows stress creeping in if you engage in unnecessary conflict. This can affect your sleep, mood, and energy. Reunion reminds you already know what helps you feel better. The issue is consistency. By the end of April, 10 of Cups shows emotional balance improving, physical well-being, and your health advice is go back to what worked, stop experimenting with what doesn't. Your final message being not every battle needs your participation, not every situation needs your analysis. Sometimes the smartest move is walking away and choosing peace. That is what is required for you, Aquarius. So that's it for you. We'll be moving on to our last zodiac sign, Pisces, and I'll see you in the outro. Hello, Pisces. Let's see what's in store for you for the month of April. We have Nine of Swords, we have the High Priestess, and finally we have the Ace of Cups. Pisces, April starts inside your head and not in a peaceful way. With Saturn, Mars, and Mercury clustering in your signs early in this month, you are carrying more mental and emotional pressure than usual. And that's exactly where Nine of Swords ends. Not ends, I mean lands. This is anxiety, overthinking, and late night thoughts and emotional heaviness that doesn't always make sense logically but feels very real. You may find yourselves replaying conversations, worrying about outcomes that haven't yet happened, and feeling overwhelmed without a clear reason. And here's the truth: not everything you're feeling is reality. Some of it is pressure, expectations, and emotional overload. Then, mid April, things begin to shift internally. The High Priestess appears. Now, instead of spiraling, you go inward, but in a different way. You become quieter, more observant, and more aware. This is not anxiety anymore, this is intuition. So, you start. So, what you need to do is you need to stop asking what if something goes wrong and start asking what do I actually feel is right to do. The shift changes everything, and then by the end of April, Ace of Cups arrives with new emotional reset begins for you. Relief, openness, new emotional energy. This could be new love, emotional healing, forgiveness, or simply feeling lighter after weeks of pressure. Your month is flowing in anxiety, then intuition, and then finally emotional renewal. So let's see how it is affecting your love life. We have the fish. Love is fluid this month, not fixed. Fish represents emotional flow, abundance, and depth, but also lack of boundaries. If you're single, you may feel emotionally open but also unsure of direction. You may talk to multiple people, feel attraction but not clarity, or experience emotions that shift very quickly. Nine of Swords shows fear. You may worry, is this real? Am I getting hurt again? But High Priestess tells you already know the answer. You just don't trust it yet. By the time Ace of Cups appears, something becomes emotionally clear. That is, either a new connection begins or you release something that was confusing. If you are in a relationship, the fish suggests emotional depth but also fluctuation. Feelings are strong, but boundaries may be unclear. The key here is emotional honesty. Deep connection, emotional openness, and potential new love is what you're getting, but the challenge is not losing yourself in this emotion. Let's see what's happening in your career and money. We have Privileged Lady. Okay. Career improves, but it requires confidence. Privileged Lady represents comfort, improved conditions, and stepping into a better position. At the beginning of April, Nine of Swords shows doubt. You may question your abilities, feel insecure about your role, or worry about financial stability, but here's the reality: that fear is not fully grounded. High Priestess shows you have more awareness and capability than you give yourself credit for. You may sense opportunities before they start or before they fully appear. And the Ace of Cups brings emotional alignment with your work. This could mean enjoying what you do more, finding a better work environment, or stepping into something that feels more aligned. Financially, this is not a lost month, it is a confidence building month. Your action should be trusting your instincts before your fears. Let's see with your health. Finally, we have here is our Sweetheart. Now, health is emotional first and physical second. Sweetheart is about self care, kindness, and how you treat yourself. And Pisces, you are not always kind to yourself internally. Nine of Swords shows mental stress affecting your body. This can show up as fatigue, low energy, emotional exhaustion. High Priestess suggests your body is very sensitive to your environment. If you are around stress, negativity, or chaos, you kind of absorb it. By the time Ace of Cups arrives, healing will begin, but only if you allow it. Sweetheart reminds you rest is necessary, emotional release is necessary, self comparison is necessary. Your health advice is stop being gentle with everyone else and harsh with yourself. Be the soft person that you are with others to yourself as well. Your final message is you're not overwhelmed because life is falling apart. You're overwhelmed because you feel everything, including things that are not yours to carry. April teaches you the difference, and once you learn it, you feel lighter. That's it for you, Pisces. I'll see you in the outro. So that was your April 2026 prediction for all the zodiac sign. This month is not passive. It's a month of clarity, decision, emotional shifts and realignment across love, career and health. Some of you are closing chapters, some of you are stepping into something new, and many of you are finally seeing things as they actually are. Just remember, this was a general collective reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If this reading helped you, make sure to like the video, share it with someone who needs it, and comment your zodiac sign below. And if you're new here, do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification so you do not miss the next reading. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.